Now that we are at the end of this course, I just wanted to show you an example application which I've quickly put together to attach to our API that we've obviously created in this course. This will give you an idea of how all of the endpoints we have created and how they may be used by a client. The one thing I should point out, and I've forgot to mention in this course so far, is that if you're wanting to create an API and make it available to the world, you must add SSL encryption to your server. So this is basically HTTPS. You've probably seen this on websites that you visit where you provide credit card details and things like that. This makes a server connection with clients secure and encrypted. Otherwise, when we submit data, like your username and password to the server, using the API, it would be sent to the server in plain text. Adding HTTPS to Apache is trivial, and there are plenty of guides on the internet that will show you how to do this. Server configuration, as mentioned at the beginning of this course, is out of the scope of this course. But I just wanted to specifically mention this as it would compromise the work we have done to teach you how to create a secure token-based authentication system. So I have MAMP running along with PHPMyAdmin, and you can see that we've still got the list of tasks that we've previously created in the course. So what I want to do is demo the app that I've quickly put together and show you how some of the endpoints that we've created will be used from an end user's point of view. So we have an iPhone app here that I've quickly developed. Like I say, it doesn't look great, but it's just to prove the point that the functionality works. So what we can do, we can log in if we've already got a user account, or we can sign up. So we'll just try the login with the user details that we've already created throughout this course and see if it retrieves our tasks. So we'll log in as Michael because we know this account exists. So username is Michael, and we'll use the password, which was password1. We'll then log in. And when we log in, you can see that our list of tasks are listed here. If I just move this to the side slightly. Yeah, that'll do there. So you can see obviously my two tasks are there, Michael's tasks. So Michael's task and Michael's tasks there. And you can see there that Michael's task to clean the kitchen, Michael's task to cut the lawn. Now, obviously a user experience, for an app differs, but I've created something where you slide the task to the left and you get some options. You can delete the task or you can complete the task. So at the moment in the database, just move this to the right slightly. All of our tasks are currently not complete. So I'm going to complete this top one. So from an end user's point of view that's using the app, we would slide to the left and click complete. Now what this is going to do in the background is do a patch. Remember that a patch is an update, so this updates the task and updates the completed status to a Y. So if I click complete, you can see that, I've made this a little bit fancy where it changes colors to say, a task's complete. But if I refresh the database, you can see that this task is now completed. So if I go back and uncomplete it, so if I slide back to the left and then click uncomplete, and then refresh the database, you can see that now it's gone back to a no. So you can see that our API, and like I say, this is using all of the APIs that we've created in this course. Nothing's been changed. We've just created the app to plug into this API. Now you can see this will be using the patch. Now if I wanted to delete, so we'll delete the Michael's task to cut the lawn. So I'll just scroll to the left and click delete. So that removes from our list on the client application. And if I refresh this task list, you can see that it's disappeared. So it's deleting the task for us. So if I go back into the app and I create a new task, so on the new, add a new task. So we'll give this a name such as Michael's task to, clean the car. Give it a description just to show you that all the fields actually populate. So clean the car, give it a deadline, so we'll say 05/03/2019 and do it by 5 p.m. and then complete. We're going to say no for the time being, so save that. You can see there now we've created a new task and that's been updated on the client device. So if we go back to our tasks table, just refresh it, you can see that it's actually created a new task. It's assigned our user. It's updated the description, the deadline, and the completed status. So this was the post on the /tasks API. So you can see that actually it may look complicated when you're using Postman. You know, there's a lot of fiddling to do just to get it to do something. But actually the client application can be very easy to use. So what I'm going to do now is log out of this application. Just click the log out at the top. But first, before I do that, if I click Sessions, go to Browse, you can see that we have a session. So obviously when we first logged in using this application, it's created us a session for user ID 1, which is Michael. So if I then log out, that is the equivalent to running a delete on the /sessions/ID of 6. So I'll just click log out, takes us back to the login screen, refresh this sessions table, and you can see there's no current sessions anymore. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to log in as the other user, which was John. And then the password for that was password 2. So if I click login, you can see that now we've got John's tasks. So you can see that it doesn't know anything about Michael's tasks. It's now, user centric. It doesn't really care. It doesn't need to know about any other user's tasks. So we can do the same. We can create a new task. That's a refresh button, so we can refresh the tasks. Now, one of the things I did want to demonstrate, and we haven't really demonstrated this in this course yet, is the caching type stuff. Now, I know we added it into certain endpoints and routes, so we will read or cache some data on the application on the client. So that means that every time you click refresh, the application will check the cache, see if the cache is expired. I think we set this to something like 30 seconds or so. And if it, if the last previous call to get this data was within 30 seconds, it'll just retrieve from the client's device. Because things like task title and stuff like that, you're not too bothered whether, it takes 20 seconds to get an updated version of that. Like I say, we don't use caching on anything to do with authentication or when we're creating tasks. We need that data straight away. So what I'm going to do is actually update this task in the database, and what you should see is the task not updated on the client until after about 30 seconds. So what I'm going to do is just refresh that and then go to tasks, go to browse, and I'm just going to change John's to say John's task 3. So now we've updated that to say John's task 3. Now if we go quickly back to the simulator, so you can see here that if we're clicking refresh, we're not getting that task 3 to update at the moment. So if we give it a few seconds, I'll just fast forward this a little bit, and we click refresh, you can see now that's task 3. So you can see that that took a little bit of time to pull through. So that's what I'm saying, how you can handle caching. So because it's updated in the database doesn't necessarily mean that the client device should get that information straight away. So in order to get that information, that would have to call back to the database on the server and then obviously pull this data back down. But because we set a caching policy, we can say, well, don't go back to the server until 20 seconds or 30 seconds has rolled past since you last got an update. Like I say, you don't use this for all endpoints, but sometimes it can help to sort of help the load on the server. So what we'll do now, we'll log out again. That should delete our login session. So if we go back to sessions, go to browse, you can see that our session's gone. So what we're going to do is create a sign up. So we're going to create a new user. So we'll give them a full name, Mary Smith. Give them a username of Mary. Give them a password of password 3 and click sign up. So you can see your account has been created successfully. So if we go to the users table, go to browse, you can see that now that we've got a Mary with a sort of a hashed password. Users active. So what I'm going to do is go back to our simulator, OK to that, come back to our login screen. If we just try and log in as Mary, but if we type in the wrong password, so if we type in password 1, her password's password 3, but I'm just going to try password 1. So if you log in, it says there was an error logging in, click OK. So if you go back to browse, you can see that our login attempt is now incremented to 1. However, I'm going to type our password incorrectly this time. So it was password 3, login. It it's now logged in fine. So if we just refresh this, you can see that because we've logged in correctly, our login attempts has been reset back to 0. Go to sessions, browse, and you can see that there's a new session for Mary, user ID 3. But Mary can't see, go to tasks, Mary can't see Michael's or John's tasks. So that's just a bit of a demo there to show you how a client application will work. Like I say, it doesn't look too jazzy, but it was just to prove a point that you can plug in a client application now to the API that we've developed in this course. So I'll click log out. Okay, so that's the end of this course, and I just want to say thank you for purchasing this course. Hopefully it's been useful to you, but if you've got any questions or anything like that, just feel free to message me. Thanks again.